Hello, this is the Rev again. I wanted to stop in and talk to you today about miracles. I have people ask me all of the time, do you believe in miracles? And I do believe in miracles. I'm going to tell you about a couple that I have seen in person. And I want to also remind you that I believe that everyone is entitled to have miracles as they reach out. There is one ingredient that you have to have in order to participate in a miracle, and that is faith. Let me explain. I had a service in which I was making a speech, and the people had come together, and the family that was in attendance of my sermon and speech, they had a baby that was very, very, very ill. And they had been to the doctor, and they said that the child had a very, very high fever. And they had asked one of my ushers if it would be possible for me to say a prayer. And so the usher came to the platform and stopped me in the middle of my speech and said, the family wants you to pray for this baby that's very sick. And so I said, okay. I walked down off of the platform down to where they were. And they had the baby in their arms. And they handed me the baby. And the baby, I promise you, was as red as you could imagine. In fact, I could feel the heat. And I prayed for that baby that God would heal it and touch it and make it well. And I can't explain any of it. I don't take any credit for it whatsoever. I said a prayer. I asked God to touch the child. And literally that child's complexion changed immediately. It was like the fever completely disappeared. And when that happened, the family took the child back immediately to the place that they had been in doctoring, and had whoever it was that they were doing, and the fever had disappeared. I give God all the credit. I give God credit if that was a miracle. I give God the credit for that miracle. I had another occasion in which I was in an emergency room with a man in which they had just said to me, I believe that he has passed. And normally I wouldn't have done it, but I took my hands and laid it on his forehead, just like that, and said a prayer that God would take him in peace and would bless his family and so forth and so forth. And suddenly he started moving around, and he hadn't passed at all. He was still alive. Now, there could be something medical about that, but at the same time, to me, they thought that he had passed. And he hadn't. In fact, he lived quite a long time after that. And so I call that a miracle. That's only one kind of a miracle. You need a miracle, and I need a miracle from once in a while. And I believe that all that you need is when you need a touch of God. It's okay to just talk to him and tell him, God, bless me with this. I need help. And maybe it's a special miracle. Maybe your finances are completely messed up and you don't know what to do about it. And you know that God can solve those kinds of problems? I had an experience when I had gone into a shopping center, a Safeway in fact, gone into a shopping center, and a man walked up to me and handed me a $50 bill. I said, what is this for? And he said to me, you're supposed to give that to somebody. And I said, I don't have anybody to give it to. I don't need it, sir. I have my own money. I don't need it. He said, I was told to give it to you, and here it is. And he walked away. And later on, it was, I think, the next day, family came to us and told us of the need that they had been going through and experienced, and I gave them the $50. And they got a miracle out of it, and I saw a miracle in it. Like, why did the guy ever give me the $50 in the first place? You know, you're important. And you need to believe that you're valuable enough that the touch of God and miracles can come in your life through the dark spot that you may be in today. And you can come out of it and ask God and expect that He's going to touch you and help you. And let me know. You can contact me at this site. I'd like to know if you have experienced in the next 7 days some kind of a miracle in your life. I'm going to pray to that end. Thanks so much for checking in, and God bless you.